These old hands have stitched a lot of quilts over the years, each one a tapestry of memories, of lives lived and loves lost. Funny how something as simple as bits of fabric can hold so much meaning. I started quilting when I was just a girl, learning at my grandmother's knee. She'd say, "Life's like a quilt, honey. It's not about having the fanciest pieces, it's about how you stitch them together." 92 years I've been on this earth. Seen more changes than you can shake a stick at. From outhouses to smartphones, from horse-drawn carts to men on the moon. Sometimes I feel like a living history book, pages yellowed but still full of stories. You know, every quilt I've ever made has a piece of feed sack in it. Reminds me of where I came from. Depression-era kid, we didn't have much, but we had each other. That's a lesson folks today could stand to learn. It's not about what you have, it's about who you have. I remember the day I married my George, handsome as the devil and twice as charming. Used a piece of my wedding dress in every quilt after that. Even now, 10 years after he's gone, I still reach for him in the night sometimes. Grief's a funny thing. It fades, but it never really goes away. Just becomes another patch in your life's quilt. Raised 4 children in this house, each one as different as could be. My Julie, headstrong and fierce. Tommy, gentle as a lamb. Sarah, smart as a whip. And little Joey, always with his head in the clouds. They've given me 12 grandchildren and 6 great-grands, each one a blessing, each one adding their own unique patch to this family quilt. You young folks, always in such a hurry. Rushing from one thing to the next, never taking the time to just sit and stitch. To piece things together slowly, thoughtfully. There's wisdom in slowness, you know. In taking the time to do things right. Life will hand you scraps sometimes, ugly pieces you think couldn't possibly fit anywhere. But you'd be surprised. Often those are the pieces that make the quilt interesting. Give it character. I've had my share of ugly scraps. The year we lost the farm, the time Tommy got sick and we thought we might lose him, the long, lonely nights after George passed. But you know what? Those dark pieces make the bright ones shine all the brighter. If these old eyes have learned anything, it's this. Every piece matters. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly. It all comes together to make the whole. And the whole is beautiful, even if every individual piece isn't. To you young ones, I say this. Stitch your life with care. Choose your patterns wisely, but don't be afraid to take risks. A life lived safe is like a quilt never used. Pretty to look at maybe, but cold comfort in the end. Love fiercely. Forgive often. Laugh every chance you get. Those are the golden threads that hold everything together. And remember, we're all part of a bigger quilt. Your story intertwines with others in ways you might never know. So be kind, be generous. You never know how your actions might warm someone else's life. As for me, well, I'm in the twilight of my days. The pattern's almost complete. But you know what? I'm still stitching, still adding pieces, still learning, still loving. Because that's what life's about. It's not about reaching the end, it's about making something beautiful along the way. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a quilt to finish. It's for my newest great-grandbaby. Got to make sure she knows she's part of this big, beautiful, messy family tapestry. Remember, life's a quilt. Stitch it with love, wrap yourself in its warmth, and pass it on to the next generation. That's the legacy that really matters.